Jaden McDaniels, Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yep.
I'm going to categorize him as like a disruptor wing.
Sure.
I think is probably the way to put it. Great on-ball defender who covers an immense amount of ground because he's 6'9" with long arms, right? Like I remember watching him in the zone at Washington, and the way that he covered ground in that zone was completely absurd. And I had questions though. Like I thought his overall like on-ball defense, and I thought he's like wildly aggressive at times and like would close out way too heavy at times. But Minnesota has found a way to moderate his defensive ability and like moderate those closeouts and moderate the aggressiveness like perfectly in order to make him a successful high leverage defender as well. The way that he just like completely shut off Austin Reeves' water in the playoffs was something to watch, man. Like Austin Reeves is a great player, like averaged like 25 and 5 this year. And Jaden made his life miserable, and he's not the first guy that he's made the life of miserable. The way that he particularly deals with guards and his footwork is so good. Like I think that McDaniels' ability to slide his feet smoothly, despite having those like higher hips. I often talk about higher hips being a thing that like I don't really love, but the difference for McDaniels, I think, is that he plays with this incredible bend to then be able to access the like ability that length gives him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this, like the ability to cover ground and then the ability to play in recovery as well. Like even if he gets beat, he's never out of a play because he's so long. And so his motor runs high on that end. Like he's just a monster to deal with, I think, on the ball, takes on consistently difficult matchups. And man, the hand activity is disruptive. Like he's just a monster, I think.
Yeah, that recovery ability, the length is huge because this is one guy that doesn't have the same kind of physical frame of a lot of the guys, not all, but a lot of the guys that we've talked about and will talk about. But the point of attack defense is still really good. He has the disruption ability, but he has that length, and that allows him to have really good recovery ability. And I think that's huge because when you're taking the matchups he's going to take, you're going to get beat at times, like we've mentioned multiple times now. And so that length really comes into play. We saw it with SGA, and similar to Jokic, nobody shuts down SGA. But with McDaniels, you can see that he has the length and then also the change of direction. And that's not something that all guys have, is that ability to be that long, but then also move and slide. You mentioned the footwork and the kind of the fluidity of his movements. You know, not to get into like the negative side of things or the nitpicky side of things immediately. I think the reason why he ends this episode and isn't part of the next episode, at least for me, was I did have some like screen navigation notes where I didn't think that was always great. And he has the recovery to make up for it, but an elite screen user like a Steph Curry or somebody like that, that's going to be tough for him. And so I love, again, the multiple efforts, the length, the recovery. But when you start talking about him compared to maybe some guys we'll get into next episode, that was a distinguishing factor for me.
He does definitely get clipped a little bit too often. But again, like I agree with you that he gets clipped, but the length and like, you know, ability to get back in recovery is pretty real, I think.
Yes, sure.
Like his ability to contest from behind, like makes guy's life, like you have to be constantly aware of him.
Yes.
On that side of it. Like he is actually like weirdly more of a shot blocker to me than he is a steals guy. Because I often feel like he will get somebody from behind, like coming for like a swat or on a closeout will go up and like block a 3-pointer off the catch where somebody just like doesn't really think he's going to get out there. And he does because of like the deceptive length almost that he has. It's not like deceptive. He's very big and very long, but you know, he does deceive guys, I feel like, from time to time.
Sure.
On that ability to get out there and be able to close out onto shooters. Again, the ground coverage, to me, that kind of puts him a level above the like Suggs, Dunn, Nembhard group, is the ground coverage. He just covers such an immense amount of ground out there defensively when he gets stuck in help situations, but then can also deal with on-ball guys. Like I completely think McDaniels is a monster on that end. Played all 82 games this year. I thought was like slightly worse than what he was last year defensively. I thought like, you know, if we were doing this list last year, he'd probably be, you know, 11, 12, 10,
Sure.
11, 12, something like that. But it was slightly worse this year, but really turned it up in the playoffs again as well. So like I love watching Jaden McDaniels defend. He's a really high level defender.
I think that's when
it's
it
very
came
smooth is the thing.
I think that's where it came back around for me as well, was the playoffs. And that's going to be true about a few of these guys that we talk about, that the playoff runs, kind of showed some aspects of their game that put it to the level that they are on the list.